Now at 9, police in Joplin surround a home near Cecil Floyd Elementary.
Former President Donald Trump's big announcement is set for Tuesday night. But could a potential presidential run drag down his party? I'm Mallory Rivera in Washington with how political insiders are reacting. Coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Albee. A SWAT team today surrounded a home in West Joplin. Law officers were at a home on the 1800 block of Joplin's West 21st Street all afternoon. It's in the neighborhood of Cecil Floyd Elementary School. Joplin Assistant Police Chief Brian Lewis says a man charged with first-degree domestic assault charges had returned to the home. Authorities entered the home tonight, though it's unclear if the suspect was inside. A man who shot his girlfriend in Miami, Oklahoma, then led police on a chase is going to prison. A judge sentenced Austin Tanner to 40 years in prison for shooting with intent to kill. However, all but 15 years of that sentence is going to be suspended. He also gets 5 years for eluding police. Authorities say in August of 2020, police investigated a domestic argument at a home on J Street, northwest of Miami. Police left without making an arrest. Later that afternoon, they say Tanner shot his girlfriend at his home. After a chase and crash, authorities arrested Tanner south of Fairland, Oklahoma. The girlfriend had multiple gunshot wounds but survived. Police say the driver of a commercial tow truck died today when the truck rolled over along I-44 near Joplin's Range Line exit. No other vehicle was involved. No one else was hurt. Police plan to release more details tomorrow. Meteorologist Doug Ketty joining us now. First with the forecast. A bit cloudy today.
Yeah, it was cloudy really a good chunk of the day, and then we cleared out a bit late in the day, but only 41 for a high. We started at 33 during the morning hours. We should be topping out still near 60 degrees, so we are pretty chilly for this time of the year, and you can see most of us right now 32, 33, 34 degrees. We're going to drop into the low to mid 20s later on tonight, and the wind's light, but it's been strong enough that it kind of cuts through you just a little bit. These winds are actually going to pick up quite a bit during the daytime hours tomorrow. All right, we got all the clouds out of here, but right behind it, we're going to have more clouds roll in. There's a little batch of snow that's going to slide into our northern counties late tonight into tomorrow morning, and that is going to produce some light snow showers, even some light flurries, mainly north of I-44. This is late tonight into tomorrow morning, and then it quickly zooms right on by. We'll talk more about that, other chances for snow, and all the way into the weekend here in just a bit.
Doug, thanks so much. A local third grader's quick actions saved his classmate's life. KOAM's Carrie Worthen talks with them on what happened.
And they want to shake your hand because you're a hero. You are. So step right over there.
I went, oh God, what was that?
Thanks to Tyler Lawrence's quick thinking, Camden Shelton's life was saved.
So he was choking on grapes and he put 3 in his mouth and he choked on one of them. And I thought he was faking it until his face turned purple. And then I went over to the side and hit his back really hard. I was eating so many grapes that I didn't know I had a whole grape in my mouth, and I started swallowing and it went into my throat.
Assistant Principal Jennifer Terry says she is proud of the students at Wyandotte Elementary.
I think it's really great and exciting that we have such awesome kids here. I am super excited that they step up in a time of need and they don't even think twice about it.
We're friends now, so.
Tyler Lawrence was recognized in front of the school, and local police recognized him as a hero.
If you think they're bad or something, you can't tell that because you don't know if you don't spend time with them or something like that, because you don't know how they actually are inside.
So don't forget to always be kind even when no one is looking. In Wyandotte, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Tyler, you're probably a bit embarrassed with all this attention, but I'm going to say it again, man. You did an awesome job. You are a hero. You can watch the full video of Tyler's recognition on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. So if you're planning to travel over the Thanksgiving weekend, be ready for the roads to be busy. AAA expecting nearly 55 million people to travel at least 50 miles or more that weekend. That puts it on track to be the third busiest year for Thanksgiving travel, though it's not quite at those pre-pandemic levels. Truck driver here in the 4 states tells us traffic is picking up.
It's been kind of gradually getting back to normal, and I feel like we are back to normal. I mean, even right now, at this time of day, it's very heavy out there. a lot of packs are traveling, and try not to travel in packs. Like, get away from the packs and you'll stay out of wrecks.
AAA is also seeing a rise in alternative modes of transportation, things like buses, trains, and cruise ships. With grocery prices up sharply from a year ago, Thanksgiving is hitting households a lot harder this year. KOAM Seguba Modeli found groups that feed the community are dealing with those high prices as well.
According to the latest inflation data, turkey is forecasted to cost 23% more this year over 2021 because of both inflation and the avian flu, which has reduced supply.
The prices have gone up, and so we had to make sure that we kind of had to think about how many are we going to have coming in for our Thanksgiving meal. Numbers are rising for the need in the area, and we've been seeing that not just through our food line, but we've been seeing it through our holiday season.
We're going to have that story a little bit. Some stores like Walmart and Aldi have rolled back prices on Thanksgiving staples, specifically because of inflation. After disappointing midterm elections for Republicans, some critics are pointing fingers at Donald Trump, former president, of course, as he readies a potential 2024 run for the White House. A wounded GOP is left sorting out who's going to be the next leader of that party. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera has more from D.C.
Democrat Katie Hobbs' victory in Arizona's governor's race is the latest loss for former President Donald Trump, who was a backer of Hobbs' opponent, Carrie Lake.
It has been a long year and a half. But in this election, Arizonans chose solving our problems over conspiracy theories.
Still, Trump appears to be moving full steam ahead with launching a potential 2024 presidential run Tuesday, despite calls for him to delay his announcement.
He will declare victory and say that his candidates won in the midterms, but not all of them did. It was a very mixed record.
Critics argue the former president was a drag on Republican candidates in the midterms. But J.D. Vance, who won an Ohio Senate seat and was endorsed by Trump, blamed money and low turnout for the party's lackluster performance last week.
Finger pointing is not really a good exercise, and we should take our wins and build on those.
As Republicans try to chart a path forward, Governor Ron DeSantis is seeing a boost in prominence after winning his re-election bid in Florida by a landslide. DeSantis, who was once seen as one of the former president's staunchest allies, is now brushing off criticism from Trump.
You know, at the end of the day, I would just tell people to go check out the scoreboard from last Tuesday night.
Republicans are also struggling with infighting on Capitol Hill. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy was able to secure the party's nomination as House Speaker Tuesday, but questions remain over whether he has the votes to lock up the spot on the House floor in January. Meanwhile, Senator Rick Scott is running to unseat Minority Leader Mitch McConnell as the Senate Republican leader. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
And tonight, former President Trump did announce his 2024 presidential run. A heated hearing on Capitol Hill today as Homeland Security Secretary and the FBI Director took the hot seat, detailing for lawmakers what they see as the top threats to the U.S. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard has this from D.C.
The threats facing the homeland have never been greater or more complex.
In a hearing in the House Homeland Security Committee, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and FBI Director Christopher Wray laid out what they see as the nation's biggest security risks.
The greatest long-term threat to our nation's ideas, innovation, and economic security, our national security, is that from China.
Mayorkas and Wray said China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea have continued to push disinformation and threaten democratic ideas. But the hearing on Capitol Hill turned contentious.
How can you begin to solve the problem if you don't even acknowledge the depth and breadth of it?
Republicans got their chance to grill Secretary Mayorkas on the southern border and the problem of illicit fentanyl, even calling for him to step down.
This has nothing to do with politics. This is about kids across the country dying every single day from fentanyl overdoses because people in Washington can't get their act together.
In the last fiscal year, Customs and Border Protection recorded 2.3 million encounters.
All the righteous indignation. Here we go. Is the border secure based on your feelings or facts?
We have removed or expelled more individuals from the United States than ever before.
We could soon start seeing Secretary Mayorkas and Director Wray facing questions on the Hill more often once House Republicans reclaim the majority in January. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Kenneth Tucker served in the U.S. Army from 1941 to 50. Native of Joplin, Tucker was stationed over in Korea, received 4 battle stars. We are proud to thank Ensign Sergeant First Class Kenneth Tucker. He's tonight's four-state hero. Coming up, concerns about a so-called triple-demic.
Health officials in California have confirmed the first death of a child under 5 as a result of RSV. I'm Jonathan Hunt in Los Angeles. The details coming up.
New concerns as the triple-demic of the flu, COVID, and RSV continues to overwhelm the U.S. healthcare system. With cases of respiratory illnesses on the rise, health officials confirm the first fatality this season after a child under 5 died with RSV. Fox News Chief Correspondent Jonathan Hunt has these details.
Health officials confirm a child in California is now the first under 5 to die this season after contracting a combination of RSV and the flu.
I would bet that this child didn't get immunized for whatever reason. And we certainly know if you have 2 viruses, it's harder on the lungs than 1.
The tragic death comes as hospitals across the country are overwhelmed with patients suffering from the so-called triple-demic: COVID, flu, and RSV.
The ER is packed. The waiting room is just full of patients in lines. And patients are in the hallways being treated because there's not enough rooms.
According to the CDC, much of the country is seeing a higher than typical number of flu and RSV cases. Many emergency rooms and ICUs are at capacity, prompting hospitals to set up overflow tents to handle the surge.
We're terrified that we won't be able to take care of all the kids.
Viruses such as RSV and the flu can cause breathing difficulties and can be deadly among children, who are the most vulnerable to severe complications, especially if they have underlying conditions. Health officials are urging people to get flu and COVID vaccinations to help prevent contracting these potentially deadly viruses. In Los Angeles, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.
All right, Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later, going to check out an event highlighting the innovations aimed at solving the world's problems.
Our veterans.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a cold one for us today. Temperatures only into the lower 40s, barely past 40 for highs. We had the clouds all day long and a little bit of sunshine late in the day, but just kind of a dreary day, well below where we should be for this time of the year. Clear skies right now, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, past 36 hours, temperatures very consistent. Lower 40s yesterday, lower 30s last night, lower 40s yesterday. These temps are going to stay fairly consistent again as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. 32 in Chanute, 32 in Miami, Anderson, 31 in Carthage, Nevada is sitting at 31. We have pretty much clear skies right now, but we are going to start to get some clouds in here a little bit later on tonight. And with a light northerly wind, it makes it feel a little bit colder than what it actually is, kind of mid to upper 20s across the region. As we go through the overnight hours, 30 by 11, clouds increase 7 a.m. We could even get a few flurries in here. Back to sunshine by 10:33, overnight low of 24. A little bit later on tonight. Not much here, but just to our northwest, we have this little batch of light snow showers and flurries, Concordia, Kansas, Salina, Kansas, and this is going to drift off toward the southeast and kind of clip the northern half of the region late tonight into the morning hours for us tomorrow. Not a huge deal, but we keep getting little waves that rotate around this big upper level low sitting across parts of the Great Lakes. So until it pulls out of here, we're going to continue to get these weak little waves kind of rotating in behind it. You can see the jet stream, so it's pulling down that cooler Canadian air right on top of us. So we are going to stay chilly as we go through the rest of the week, and then we'll moderate things a little bit by next week. All right, here are the clouds tonight. A couple little random flurries, light little snow shower. Passes through, sunshine, mid to upper 30s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, high temps close to 40. It's still going to be a pretty chilly day. Tomorrow night, clear skies until late. We'll get some clouds in here by Thursday morning. Most of Thursday, we have mostly cloudy skies. Now, late in the day, we could see a few little showers start to pop up, and then as it gets colder, by the evening, a few snow showers could pop up, especially in our southern counties. So we'll keep our eyes on this over the next 24 to 36 hours and see exactly what it looks like. But it's going to stay kind of chilly as we go through the next few days. 26 in the morning, a few flurries, 37 by noon, 34 in the afternoon, high temp right around 39 degrees. Plus the winds are going to pick up a bit for us tomorrow. We're going to have winds kind of gusting 20 to 25. So that makes it feel colder than what it actually is. 39 tomorrow, 47 Thursday, only 34 on Friday. So Friday's a cold day, back into the 40s. Saturday and Sunday, 50s, Monday and Tuesday. In the second half hour, we're going to look at Thanksgiving, because we do have a storm system coming in right around Thanksgiving. So we'll look at the effects of that. 20 minutes or so?
Can you give me a hint? Is it what type of precipitation is it?
Wet.
Okay. All right, coming up. How to make life better.
A pregnancy test for the blind, a chair that doubles as a boat, and more. I'm Kevin Cork with a look at some of the inventions trying to change the world at this year's Prototypes for Humanity event. That's coming right up.
Ahead of the busy holiday travel season, the Department of Transportation says it's fined 6 airlines more than $7 million for extreme delays in refunding travelers. The department also announced that airlines have issued $600 million in refunds to consumers for canceled or, quote, significantly changed flights since the start of the pandemic. Google has reached a record $392 million settlement with 40 states over its location tracking practices. The search giant allegedly misled consumers over those practices. That included confusion around, quote, the scope of the location history setting and how much consumers could limit the location tracking by adjusting settings. Well, the world is full of problems, right? Big and small, unfortunately. You gotta live with them. Well, some of the brightest minds on the planet are on a mission to solve them. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork takes a closer look at some of the groundbreaking innovations at this year's Prototypes for Humanity event in Dubai.
This isn't a traditional pregnancy test. The device is designed for the visually impaired, and it uses vibrations to provide test results.
Something that is so private, I think being able to do that on your own if you're blind is pivotal.
It's just one of 100 groundbreaking inventions designed by students around the world being unveiled at this year's Prototypes for Humanity event in Dubai.
Our goal is to design a platform that allows academic knowledge to migrate into corporates and government and produce impact for people and change faster.
From improving wildlife cleanup operations to developing products for suicide prevention and more, some of the world's brightest minds are trying to solve some of the globe's largest problems.
What you see on display is a reflection of the concerns that students have across the planet.
Many of the inventions are designed to save lives, like this foldable chair that turns into a makeshift raft for people living in areas ravaged by flooding. This helmet, meantime, can prevent crashes, serving as a hands-free turn signal for riders on electric scooters and bikes. $100,000 in prizes across 4 categories, including environment, health, society, and corporate solutions, will be awarded to the very top inventions. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
All right, auction for the first ever Star Trek comic, boldly going where no man has gone before. More on this next. First edition Star Trek comic book has been auctioned off for a new record price. Comic book from 1967 sold for almost $47,000. According to the comic book grading service Certified Guarantee Company, the book was in near mint condition, with the piece receiving a 9.6 rating. Certified Guarantee Company says the sale more than doubled its previous record of $20,400 for a piece sold in 2019. The record price for the Star Trek comic also includes the premium the buyer paid. I know I'm going to make some of you mad, but I never got into Star Trek. Never. Yes, that's a pretty penny to pay for some comics, but I never got into Star Trek. So, you guys, Doug? No, he either. But it's a good story, I guess. That's a lot of money, right? All right, 30 more minutes news, weather, and sports coming away. Going to take a look at the current flu numbers in southwest Missouri.
Plenty of praise from President Biden as the Ukrainian military retakes more territory. I'm Greg Todd got in Kyiv. That's my story. Coming up.
Cold and flu season is here. KOAM's Jalen Banks takes a look at the state of the flu in one southwest Missouri county.
Flu season opens the 1st of October and ends in March. And as of Tuesday, Newton County has 28 confirmed cases of the flu.
There's not a really good way to predict. Sometimes we'll use past history, but with COVID, that kind of blows everything. So my expectation would be that we will see an increase in the flu. How much of an increase is yet to be determined.
Bergner says flu shots for the county are up, and that helps keep down the number of infections.
Yeah, in Newton County, since September 1st, we've given 217 flu vaccinations, all ages with that, but 217, 28 flu cases since September. So we're doing well. People are coming in to get their flu vaccinations. If we've done 217, I'm sure hospitals, pharmacies, they've done several as well.
Bergner also shares ways to be safe from catching the flu and other illnesses during the season.
Of course, hand washing is the best way to prevent viruses, but also making sure our surfaces are clean and sanitized around the house, cooking kitchen surfaces are cleaned, and everything that we do, just make sure that everything is cleaned well and properly.
According to the CDC, Missouri is considered a moderate level for flu activity. In Newton County, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
Kansas and Oklahoma are considered moderate levels for flu activity right now. Arkansas, by the way, considered high for flu activity. 100 Women Who Care in Jasper and Newton counties today presented a donation of $3,200 to MLV Foundation. My Limitless Vision Foundation is an organization aimed to connect the visually impaired and blind in order to enhance lives, encourage independence, and expand awareness in the Fort Sill area. The funds from this donation are going to be used to provide needed transportation to their events for their clients.
Transportation is a huge issue for the blind and visually impaired, who are a very isolated group. They have to rely on other people to get them around to places and to all the different events and stuff that we host and produce.
100 Women Who Care is an international organization of women who gather 4 times a year for a 1-hour meeting to learn about local charities and to make a donation. This is something you don't want to do, but you kind of have to do these days. Freeman Health System is sponsoring an exercise to make sure their faculties and facilities are prepared to handle a terrible tragedy. The exercise simulates a shooting at a youth basketball tournament. Officials say it's a chance for local medical and nursing students to get an idea of what it's like to be part of a crisis response team.
I think for most healthcare providers and in these situations, in this phase where we're in now is the beginning. That's where you're taking care of patients and you do just what needs to be done to take care of the patients. And that afterwards, you need to support the staff with debriefing and mental health support, especially in a mass casualty event.
The simulated victims were played by actors from area nursing schools. Researchers from Northwestern University have discovered a link between the growth of uterine fibroid tumors and environmental phthalates, things found in everyday products like shower curtains, lunchboxes, shoes, and food. Tumors are incredibly common. Up to 80% of women may develop one during their lifetime. They can cause bleeding and anemia, miscarriages, also infertility. Children who experience adversities like death, poverty, or neglect, or stressful family relationships are at increased risk of developing heart and blood vessel diseases by the time they reach young adulthood. The research out of Denmark found the risk was 60% higher for those who experienced adversity compared to those who did not. As the fighting continues to escalate in southern Ukraine, President Biden praises the Ukrainian victory in the key city of Kherson. Fox News correspondent Greg Pelcott has more from Kyiv, Ukraine.
It was a significant victory for Ukraine.
President Biden praising the skill and bravery of Ukraine's army following a major victory in the south. Russia completing its withdrawal from the city of Kherson, with Ukrainian troops returning over the weekend to start the recovery process. And on Monday, CIA Director William Burns reportedly traveling to Turkey for talks with his Russian counterpart. But the president insists there'll be no deal making or peace talks without Ukraine's approval.
There's nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. It's a decision Ukraine has to make. I think you're going to see things slow down a bit.
So far, Ukraine has held off on sitting down with Moscow, claiming they'll only negotiate when all Russian soldiers leave the country. And following the Kherson victory, they're now in a better position to make that happen, with the Pentagon estimating more than 100,000 Russian soldiers wounded or killed since the start of the war.
This is the beginning of the end of the war. We're ready for peace, but our peace for our country is all our country, all our territory.
The U.S. also announcing new sanctions on Russia aimed at stopping Vladimir Putin from rearming his military, while European allies focus on halting the flow of drones and missiles from other countries.
The serious allegations that has been directed towards the Iranian government for selling drones to Russia, sanctions are necessary in order to curtail these ambitions.
Today's sanctions target 14 individuals and 28 companies, some based in Western Europe. In Kyiv, Greg Balcon, Fox News.
Bit later, shoppers' habits.
More American families are buying their groceries at Walmart. I'm Madison Allworth in Garfield, New Jersey. Coming up, I'll explain why Walmart's positive earnings report could mean something negative about the economy.
Well, of course, a cold day for us today. Temperatures, they struggled to warm up. We only went into lower 40s for afternoon highs, but we did get some sunshine by the evening. We have clear skies out there right now. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, just west of Seneca, Missouri. All right, temps, past 36 hours, only lower 40s yesterday, dropped into lower 30s last night, only lower 40s once again for us today. It's cold now. Chanute 32, 33 in Veneta, Anderson 31, Nevada, much of the same at 31 degrees. 7th and Rangeline 33, northerly winds at 6, so it makes it feel like 28, a little bit colder than what it actually is. So we have wind chill factors mid to upper 20s. And these are going to stay kind of cold for us tomorrow, especially as the winds start to pick up just a little bit. All right, clouds increase tonight, a few flurries by morning, especially along and north of I-44, and then sunshine pops out. But it's going to be a cold night, all the way down to 24 degrees for an overnight low. We look fine now, just to our northwest. You can see a little pocket of light snow showers and flurries. This is going to kind of zoom into our northern counties, give us some clouds, give us some random flurries a little bit later on tonight. We keep getting these weak little waves kind of rotating in behind this big upper level low. You can see our jet stream, because it dips out of Canada, it pulls in that colder Canadian air, and that's what we're going to deal with as we go through the rest of the week. All right, through time, here come our clouds tonight. Few random little flurries. Clouds exit, sun returns, mid to upper 30s by noon. As we get into the afternoon, here's 4 p.m., upper 30s, so it's pretty cold across the region. Tomorrow night, we dip down into lower 20s, actually near 20 for an overnight low. We do get some more clouds in here Thursday, so I think Thursday mostly cloudy. Could see a random shower or two late in the day. As we get into the evening hours, we could get some showers mixing with or changing over to some very light snow kind of rotating through. So we're going to watch this as we go through about the next day or so. Day planner for you, 26 in the morning, 37 by noon, 34 by 5. High temp, only 39. We should be almost 20 degrees warmer. Plus, look at the winds. They start to pick up tomorrow afternoon. So when you're only 39, you have winds gusting 20 to 25. That's going to give you wind chill factors into the 20s throughout the afternoon. All right, let's go down the road. Let's go into next week. Thanksgiving week. Warm back up, 50s for highs. Here's Tuesday, but on Wednesday and Thursday, we have a storm system coming in that's going to give us chances for showers, even some thunderstorms, and then we cool right back down behind it. So we need to watch that for next Wednesday into Thursday. 39 tomorrow, 47 on Thursday, only 34 Friday. The weekend, not bad. Monday and Tuesday, pretty good, and then chances for rain, maybe mixing with some snow.
Okay.
As we head in Thanksgiving.
You know that wind, you were talking about that wind, that's something else.
It cuts through.
Oh,
I always go do my walking every evening.
Yeah, you do.
In the parking lot. I was in pain out there.
Yeah?
So.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate it. Thanks so much, Doug. All right, coming up in sports, Pitt State football gets 18 players on the all-MIAA football list, plus Missouri Southern's women's basketball team aiming to stay undefeated in their home opener Thursday afternoon. Jacob Leonard has that, of course, more next.
The MIAA has released its all MIAA football awards for this fall. For Pittsburgh State, head coach Brian Wright is the league's Coach of the Year after leading the Gorillas to their first conference championship since 2014. The wide receiver and kick returner Colby Katzis is the league's Freshman of the Year. On the all MIAA first team, we got some local guys highlighting the group. Galena product PJ Sarwinski is a first team all MIAA selection. He led Pitt State in tackles this season with 74, also added 10 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. Pittsburgh State safety, former Frontenac Raider Brandon Malikas is a first-team All-MIAA pick. Malikas racked up 59 tackles this fall with 2.5 tackles for loss and 2 fumble recoveries. And at wide receiver, former Neosho High School standout Bryce Murphy is on the All-MIAA first team. Murphy only played in 5 games this fall, but he was really good in those 5, collecting 406 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. Now, the Gorillas had 8 guys on the All-MIAA first team. In addition to those guys I just mentioned, tight end Devin Garrison is a first-team selection. Running back Caleb Lewis, offensive lineman Trace Jeffries, and Corey Woodruff are on there. Then on the defensive side, Dubem Okonkwo, also a first-teamer. In all, Pittsburgh State had 18 players earn All-MIAA recognition today. Check out the full list on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, today, also a big day for the Missouri Southern Lions. Southern had 13 players earn All-MIAA recognition today. Kicker Nick Williams was the team's lone first-team selection. He was 12 for 17 on field goals this fall, including that 52-yarder right there against Pittsburgh State. And that was actually the longest field goal in the MIAA this season. The local guys also representing for the Lions on the All-MIAA list. Former Joplin Eagle Nathan Glades is a second-team All-Conference pick at running back. Then on the defensive side, Carthage product Colton Winder, former East Newton standout Coleman Booker, and former Joplin Eagle Solomon Garcia all earned honorable mention All-MIAA honors. You can check out all 13 All-Conference picks for Southern at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Missouri Southern women's basketball team is once again off to a hot start this season. The Lions are 4-0, and they're ranked 19th in the country. Southern play their home opener on Thursday at noon, hosting Angelo State. Angelo State is 2-0 in their first 2 games. The Lions have already beaten some really good teams, and they're playing a pretty tough non-conference schedule. But head coach Ronnie Russell says that's exactly what they were after to prepare for the MIAA schedule.
The year we had last year, we knew we had a chance to be pretty good again, and I wanted to make sure we challenged ourselves so it would prepare us for conference play because our league is so tough. There's 7, 8 teams I think that could win our league if they get on a good run. Those are big wins when I think will come March and region rankings and everything else and strength of schedule as well. So they were huge, especially we did it all the way from home. All those were on the road. Kind of technically, I mean, Harding was a really true road win, but the rest of them all neutral site. So, but it was exciting. It was fun. I just loved how our kids competed, especially on the defensive end.
That's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Walmart agreed to a $3.1 billion settlement today in relation to prescription opioids sold at its pharmacies. The proposal comes after similar announcements from CVS Health and Walgreens on November 2nd. Some drug makers responsible for large production of opioids have also reached settlements. Questions still loom, though, as to how the settlement money is going to be used in the future. Inflation showing signs of increasing, but food prices, they're still a hardship for families, as many of us know. Walmart revealing today that even wealthier Americans are buying their low-price groceries. Fox Business correspondent Madison Allworth has more from a Walmart in New Jersey.
Walmart is often considered a bellwether for both retail and the American consumer because the big box retailer has everything. And what we learn from today's earnings report is that Americans of every income bracket are desperate for deals with inflation still very high. The grocery business drove Walmart's success this quarter because they attracted new folks looking for those deals. And 75% of those new shoppers are in a higher income bracket, making $100,000 a year or more. And even when these shoppers choose Walmart, they are picky with what they buy. Walmart's saying that shoppers are buying less expensive proteins, such as hot dogs and beans, over pricier meat. The same mentality is being seen with the holidays. Walmart says people are spending more on food and less on discretionary items like clothing. So early deals are helping to get shoppers in early. But even with the deals, families that are buying gifts for the holiday season are expected to be stretched thin.
We're seeing the savings rate contract. We're seeing consumers saving less money than they were before. So we're spending a larger proportion of our disposable income, and we are drawing on those savings. And in some cases, consumers are even drawing on debt. They're borrowing money to maintain these high levels of spend.
Luckily, we have seen some savings with companies like Walmart because they have had inventory gluts. Those deals helping Walmart and the consumer. Walmart went from an inventory level of 25% in the second quarter to 13% this quarter reported today. The way they cleared out that inventory? Deals. And luckily, those deals are expected to last through the holiday season. In Garfield, New Jersey, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
Vegas getting a new star. That's a big hit right there. Hollywood Nation coming your way. Country superstar is returning to Vegas. A Grammy-winning singer announces her 2023 summer plans. We got more news for you as well. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has the latest tonight from the Hollywood Nation.
A new generation of Duttons arrive. Downey Jr. pays tribute, and Brooks makes an announcement in the Hollywood Nation. Garth Brooks is heading back to Sin City. The Country Music Hall of Famer announced his new Las Vegas residency, Garth Brooks +1. He will kick off the 27-date concert May 18th at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace. Brooks's last residency ended in 2014 after 5 years at the Wynn's Encore Theater. Pink has booked her summer plans. She'll be hitting the road for her Summer Carnival Stadium Tour. The North American leg of the trek kicks off in Toronto on July 24th. She'll be joined by Brandi Carlile, Pat Benatar, and Neil Giraldo on select dates.
I'm very interested in who my dad is, just in the here and now.
Robert Downey Jr. honors his father in today's first looks. Netflix released the trailer to Senior, a documentary that explores the life and legacy of late actor and filmmaker Robert Downey Sr. The film will also highlight their relationship. It premieres December 2nd.
Violence has always haunted this family.
And Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren go back in time in the first trailer to the upcoming Yellowstone spin-off 1923. The show centers on a different generation of the family facing the challenges of the early 20th century, including the rise of Western expansion, Prohibition, and the Great Depression. The show premieres on Paramount Plus December 18th. In Hollywood, Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
And that is our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you tonight with video of octopi having a seashell fight near Australia. Because every once in a while you need a seashell fight, right? Just to get things out, hammer things together, right? Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.